Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 13?
13. We were supposed to look beforehand.
Yeah, we were right last time. We were right last time.
We're always right.
Episode
no matter
13.
what we say, we're right.
Dude, people, you'll all learn this eventually. We're always right. We're always right.
Whatever. I don't care.
Any critique we have on a game, it's right. And
No matter what.
The sooner you accept that, the better off you'll be as a fan.
Every episode, no matter what the name of the episode is, we're right. It could be episode 65.
Yep.
Could be episode Alpha, Beta, Cuck.
Ooh,
could be episode.
Those.
Let's not. Anyway, episode 13.
Yep.
Here we are. Welcome to the podcast.
Who would've
There's a
thought?
lot of dumb bullshit to talk about today.
Yes, there is.
I don't know. Obviously, you've been following the news.
I've been following the news.
Right after our last
making
episode.
me saucy. It's been making me saucy over here.
The gaming's dead. The death of gaming is happening.
Oh man, there it is.
You wanted me to
That's a statement
lead
right
the
there.
episode today.
That's a statement
to be
right
real
there.
Pessimistic.
Yep.
No,
Gaming is dead.
Xbox closing game studios is going to be the headline today. Some major game studios: Arcane Austin, Tango Gameworks. The two major ones, at least, that come up constantly.
Absolutely. Which are, let's just pause for a second. That's huge, dude.
That's huge.
Those
it's
are
frustrating.
Those
man.
are gaming studios that had bangers.
Yeah, minus Redfall last year, but that was almost intentionally not a banger. But
unfortunately.
But dude, the fact that, and this has been said a lot, obviously, at this point, but Tango Gameworks, a game that just created a Game of the Year contender, Game of the Year winner in some publications, just got shuttered like that. And then, yeah, I don't know. It's just mind-boggling to me that you can create something positive, be told nothing but positive things. The head of Xbox was singing its praises not too long ago even, and now it's, no more. We're not going to see a second Hi-Fi Rush, probably. We're not going to see anything like that. And it really just, I hate to start on such a pessimistic note, but
it's necessary.
It's necessary
as a gaming publication
right now,
for what it's worth. We have to comment on these things. We wish it was all rainbows and butterflies, but it's compromise that leaves us alone.
It's a little upsetting.
Hopefully, we don't get copyright struck.
Ooh.
I think it's unfortunate that the commercialization of gaming has become what it is, where it really is about profit. Once you're a publicly traded company, it's a profit thing because your shareholders only hold their shares because you garner profit. So that's the problem, that we're creating this division. Xbox purchasing these studios, we never liked it in the first place because it was creating that division between the console wars. But now we really see what the fuck it was about. It was to own these properties. You may see the developers of Hi-Fi Rush go and do something else, but they can never do Hi-Fi Rush 2 because they don't own that intellectual property anymore. Xbox wanted to own these things to some extent, and they're only focusing on money. That's what it's about for them right now. It's not about the creativity. As much as that fucking Phil Spencer can bullshit, I don't think I can listen to it anymore,
kind of bullshit.
Man. Yeah.
Xbox, the veil has been kind of lifted. I don't think people really are going to take them seriously as far as game development goes in the future.
Who would want to develop for them? There's no job security.
Yeah, exactly. So, you have that big $1 million idea that you've spent tons of time developing or working on, and then you actually, release it by some miracle alone. That's a miracle. Every game that's released like that. And then you're shuttered. So, yeah, that's frustrating. That combined with other news of Square Enix deciding that Final Fantasy is going to be, multi-platform going forward in the future, which is just another, I guess, telling factor of the game industry right now. They didn't make enough money from one of the most successul games of the last few years.
I know.
So that's crazy.
But why is that bad, though? I don't know. I don't view that as much of...
it's a bad sign.
I view it pessimistically.
That it wasn't successful. Financially,
and probably because the development costs are so high. But if alleviation is to offer it on other systems, cool, good.
Well, that's I guess maybe a good thing if you're into that. I'm still kind of the person that's hardcore, like, I don't know. I like that Final Fantasy was a Sony thing.
For sure.
I thought that was kind of cool to have, but that just opens the door for this to not even matter anymore.
Well, and it's a slippery slope too, because with that also comes the exclusivity now that are on, like Bethesda being on Xbox. That's unfortunate, dude.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's not something that plays out to our disadvantage at this point, being stuck on Xbox.
Did you see Xbox, the president of gaming, their response or whatever, the president of Sarah Bond?
Isn't it the CEO?
Whatever fucking title is. Right. I don't know. Which, side note, she's kind of a baddie.
Oh, you're saying like she's fuckable?
I think yeah, sorry. Right. I did not phrase that in a way that made sense too. She's kind of hot.
Yeah.
Hey, Sarah Bond. Thumbs up.
This guy's interested. So, Sarah Bond, if you're watching right now, feel free to jump into the comments.
I would love to be a sugar baby for the head of Xbox.
Even if she's doing shitty thing for gaming.
I'll tell her, I'll be the guy, the only person apparently to tell her, hey, you're going to be asked this question. You're going to be asked this question about these game studios closing. Have a response ready. Because apparently no one fucking told her. Because she had some baffling fucking bumbling word salad of a response that just glossed over. Sometimes you have to go in different directions and blah, blah, blah. It was really mind-boggling.
It was very political.
Yeah.
It was just dancing around the question, not even eloquently either. I think and especially, it's hard to pull one over on gamers. They're very observant individuals, man.
That Reddit culture.
Exactly. Where it's like almost like unforgiving. It's unforgiving. So
to a fault at times.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can't fucking pull one over like that. It's never going to go over like that. So, and man, it's tough, especially with these CEOs trying to defend their position when, firstly, A, they're probably not a gamer. And B, they have no
Sarah
passion.
Bond's playing games? No.
I think, has she probably played a game? Yeah. She's probably played a game. You know what I mean? But is she a gamer? No.
No, not like what you would... Yeah.
So the problem is you have non-gamers trying to make decisions that benefit gamers. And it's typically not something that goes hand in hand in industries.
It'll be interesting to see how this, bodes in the future for gaming in general, overall.
It's a little scary. Mm-hmm. And I think it's only scary because you lose a lot of talent to these shutdowns that, firstly, did nothing wrong, created award-winning games, and aren't rewarded for it. So there's no incentive to continue that art form. So we're out here for you. We love what you're doing. Keep doing it.
Support.
Yeah, support. Yeah. And honestly, it gets me to a point where it's like, maybe I don't pay for Game Pass at this point, It's like, do I want to continue supporting some industry killing culture that they're doing here?
I actually thought about repurchasing Hi-Fi Rush on the PlayStation, but I don't know how much of that money actually goes for, you know what I mean?
Or just, now that Tango's shuttered, it probably all goes to Microsoft, man.
Well,
because they
but
own
if it's
them
purchased on a PlayStation now that it's released,
but
I don't know how that works.
owns them.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
So I bet you it still goes into fucking Microsoft.
Whatever.
That's
man.
a shame. That's really unfortunate right there too.
I mean,
anyways.
Whatever.
That's a solid 8 minutes of complaining about that. Closures, but
we don't need to talk negative. There's a lot of positive to talk about.
Let's swing into those positives.
Let's swing some. Yeah, let's swing. Dick.
Yep.
That's what I wanted to say.
I know
I'm gonna say it.
I'm glad you went for it.
Final shape is a penis, as we discussed last episode. Destiny.
Spoiler alert! God,
sorry.
Don't tell everybody that.
I've already played Destiny. The final shape. It is a dick.
Wouldn't it be the ultimate troll? If in the end it was like
final shape.
What's that guy's name?
Comes up on a fucking.
What's the enemy's name? The Observer or some shit like that. If it's just his dick in the end, and that's the final battle.
I hope so, dude. That would be fucking awesome.
It would almost make me want to play it more.
It would make me want to play it more.
Yeah, but we're into dicks. So.
I'm not particularly. I find them kind of gross.
Folks, listen. He mentions dicks at least 5 times per episode. So
5's extreme. 2's not.
You're telling me 5's extreme. I know 5's extreme. You're the one doing it.
Well, positive notes. We want to continue the positive vibes after that negative news with the Xbox fucking closures. And
that's right. Fuck Xbox.
To me, the Final Fantasy multi-platform is negative. But
how about one last negative note is that PlayStation issue with Helldivers 2.
Oh, sure.
Super silly,
Silly issue, unfair to blame the developers of that game
absolutely,
for it.
Nothing, and it's getting review bombed, and the problem is now that it's kind of been corrected to some extent, the reviews are still negative.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
So there's the other double-edged sword of gamers being
I understand that that's
cuts.
one way that you can immediately get your voice heard because
it's
now,
a great thing to do.
You know, you're able to make a change.
Yep.
But it's upsetting that a developer needs to take the heat for that, like Arrowhead, because I don't think they deserve that.
But I don't think a lot of people. But that's the only way they can get through on it. You know what I mean?
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, and maybe there is another way. So maybe we challenge ourselves to find a way that doesn't, because obviously no harm is meant towards Arrowhead. And I think even the people review bombing probably know that as well.
Sure.
I mean,
sure.
We should all know that if there's a forcing of a PlayStation Network account, it's definitely driven by PlayStation.
Yeah.
What developer is going to want to include that on their own accord?
At least with Ghost of Tsushima, they were upfront about that, you know, on the PC needing that.
Right. Still unfortunate, though.
Whatever, man.
Yep. So
fuck that
that's
bullshit.
Enough. That's enough of the bullshit.
Hey, man.
Alex is tossing notes.
I'm tossing notes.
Like he tosses salads.
Yeah, which so frequent.
Quite frequent.
Fucking
messy.
Very messy. Like everything I got going on here. But what the fuck have you been playing? It's our segment. Dude, what you been playing, dude?
Oh, you said Laird last time.
I don't.
You said what
there's
you
no
been playing, Laird? And then
what you been playing?
And I said, you gotta say that every time now.
Well, I'm not gonna. I did kind of.
What I've been playing.
What the fuck have you been playing?
Well, what I've been playing most recently is not a positive thing.
No?
It's a game we played 10 minutes ago.
Oh.
We actually you guys will see another episode. We just played Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. So that's something new I've been playing.
I mean, but it's positive in the sense that we did. Well, you'll see. We don't want to spoil anything.
No
We're gonna
release.
Alex. We're gonna have something come out.
Yeah, that's right. We
something.
Will. That's right. We will.
Of us playing that game. We have some thoughts on it. Yeah. Liked it for the most part.
Watch the video. Watch the video.
Good.
Moving onwards, other things that I've been playing the indie Cocoon. Came out a couple months ago. It was pretty hot at the end of the year. A lot of people's Game of the Year indie contender.
Not
Super
based
fun.
on the movie.
Not,
as far as I know. Because I could use some Wilford Brimley action.
I could use a little diabetes.
Yeah, diabetes.
I could use a little diabetes in my Cocoon.
Different Cocoon. But what are your thoughts on that game? I saw you playing it a little bit
Visual
earlier.
style is very... I mean, you know, in it, there's different worlds, so each world's very contrasty. It's very Remnant, too. I love that, like, dichotomy of, like, worlds where none of them coincide with each other.
Interesting. Well, last game I would have thought they would have come
and it's
up
not like it plays like that. I'm just talking, like, kind of the vibe you feel of the dichotomy of worlds. Yeah.
Realms.
Yeah, exactly.
You dive in between.
Super basic with the controls. There's not too much. There's not
Basic
even really
bitch.
battling. There's a lot of just, like, avoidance. You know what I mean? Very, like... near autonomous segment.
Sounds
of
like
a
my
bullet
life.
hell.
Yeah, just a
dodging.
lot of avoidance.
That's right. That's true, folks. We call him the king of avoidance.
That's why I appear offline so often. But,
oh, that's right.
Yeah, what else you been playing, man?
So finished God of War Ragnarok and went to Valhalla now. So now working on the DLC that they released. Super fun. It's a roguelike, so it repeats and you have certain characteristics that stay with you as you upgrade them. So, and it's awesome because it's another story too. So it's kind of Kratos reckoning with his past. So a lot of like callbacks from old games are coming into this in modern day graphics. So it's super cool to see that, man. I'd suggest, checking it out if you haven't yet.
It looks
for
great.
people that haven't played God of War yet.
It looks a little more fucking crazy than, shit.
Yep. Very cool, man.
I need to play the rest of those God of War games first, but
absolutely,
then dive into Valhalla.
That's a good like 120-hour journey before you get there. Yeah. If you're playing like completionist.
I'm never gonna get there, guys. Like the completionist.
Hey, it says it's rest in peace. They say on like how long to beat.
Speaking of going to Valhalla,
I wouldn't even give them that honor. I'd say 25 hours. We said this in the other episode. Like, you could play the first one like 25 hours. You know, like, you don't have to do like that full like completionist run. So, it's totally possible. Don't rule it out. Great game series.
I did just beat Final Fantasy Remake.
Yes,
I actually completed that.
Let's hear
Took
your
about
thoughts.
30 to 35 hours. So my thoughts early on were like, man, I want to get out of Midgard. Fucking thoughts at the end, fantastic experience from start to finish. It's honestly, it's going to go down in the pantheon of one of my favorite games.
Whoa, that's a
when I use the word pantheon,
too.
That was serious.
That's how you know
business.
you mean business. Absolutely.
No, but it's fantastic. I mean, it strikes every note perfectly, in my opinion. That being said, towards the end, it does drag a little. The last couple chapters, I am looking forward to playing Rebirth and making that leap to a more sunnier, brighter aesthetic.
I've heard it opens right up. Like,
so I'm looking forward to that. I think it's the right length. I think it could have maybe been a few hours shorter.
What'd you pour into it? What do you have on it?
About 30 to 35 is
okay.
what I was saying.
And that's playing pretty
I think.
non-exploration?
I mean, I played most of the side quests I finished, but
Okay.
that being said, there's not a ton of that in Final Fantasy Remake. That's more of a Final Fantasy Rebirth is going to have more of that.
You like that about it, though, right?
I liked that about that at the time.
Many.
I am looking forward to playing that same game style in Rebirth.
Are you going to jump right in?
No, I was debating it. We'll see how long I can hold out. I've been playing some other things though too. Segue into what I got here.
Lay it on me, sister.
There's some really good fucking indie games that have been coming out, and it's important to shed light on that, I guess, with all these game studios closing that have been, coming out with major titles and shit like that. There's still room for these titles that have a lot less of a budget,
right? If anything, it's a great time for them to emphasize and take advantage of like the gap that these gaming industries are changing.
If anyone knows anything about taking advantage of a gap, it's Laird Wysocki. All right, so
right there, baby.
That being said, I've been playing Hades 2 a little bit, early access.
You got in on it.
We'll start off on that.
Yeah.
More of the same.
It looked kind of like that. Not to say it's not going to be more refined.
But that's a positive.
Right. There was no complaints at the first. Yeah.
I need to give it more time. V Rising also released recently. Full release. I'm enjoying that quite a bit. Have, just dipped my tip back into that.
And that's isometric,
open, base building.
Yeah. Like survival, like what we're talking about with like Valhalla.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
What?
That game we were talking about beforehand. Where it's like base building. And
Valheim.
Yeah. Valheim.
Yeah. Which, that's another topic.
But very similar, right? Like just a different perspective.
Similar in some aspects, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's isometric. There's survival elements, base building. The combat is almost Diablo-esque, which is another game I've been playing recently. The new season released. So I created a new character in that. Been playing that with my friends. I recommend checking it out. There's some new mechanics that they've added in the new season with the Helltide and things like that.
Do you think it's a better game played with people?
It's a better game played with people, but I don't think that's necessarily crucial to the game itself. But yeah, those are two great games I've been playing. Another one that there's two other indie titles that I want to shed light on that I think need to get more attention. One of them is Mullet Mad Jack, which you saw a little bit of gameplay on earlier. Fucking fast-paced, bullet, just action, first-person shooter, roguelike. Check that game out. It's a throwback to the old 90s anime art style.
Absolutely.
Things like that. It's been a blast. I've had a lot of fun with that game so far. But another game that I think needs a little more attention is Dread Delusion. Another indie game, first person. Very much, it's an RPG. It's very much got Morrowind vibes.
It's kind of like what the
old
narrative
school
seems like around it.
The art style though is super off the wall. That game needs more attention because I just think games like that need more attention. There's just more fun to be had in titles like that aren't bogged down by the bullshit. And I want to see titles that are like that get the success of, a giant AAA title. Not everything's going to be as successful as Grand Theft Auto fucking 6 is going to be.
Right.
And
which, by the way,
I hope they can still turn out
fall of next year is official.
That's right.
They announced that.
Yeah.
So not to swing very heavily the other way.
No, but that's...
They did announce that for fall 2025, GTA 6. But kind of going back on your point there, it's tough for an indie to ever find the success that a AAA is going to find, a good AAA, due to the fact, firstly, that it's a third of the price most of the time as well. So say you sell 50 million copies of one compared to the AAA, it's going to be much more financially successful. But the development costs involved with these AAAs, I think you can make up that difference if you were, look at any of these, what was it, Vampire Survivor?
Yeah.
He built that game by himself, probably decently cheap to build unless you count the man hours that he poured into it. It's most likely a millionaire off of the game alone.
But yeah.
What's sexist?
I think they hours would be more acceptable, not man hours.
But
Yeah, I digress. I just want games like Dread Delusion, games that are doing more interesting things with the gameplay to get the light shed on them. I actually hope to do that a little bit more with this podcast, to talk about games like that and Mullet Mad Jack that are doing things more interesting with their gameplay instead of just, I don't know, just your normal, follow the icon, fucking walk here, talk to this guy, do this thing, like very basic Ubisoft, know, whatever mechanics that you see in most games.
And I think
that.
That's kind of the difference too, is that an Ubisoft game does many things but doesn't do them well, where an indie does one thing and it does it really well.
Yeah.
And so there's your line to draw there, where it's like Mullet Mad Jack, or even looking back at Post Void, very similar game that I showed you, like Mullet Mad Jack. Those games, bullet hells in general, don't really get a ton of attention. Short of the Doom series, and those are huge sellers. And again, an unfortunate thing if we see Xbox release the new Doom and it's only on Xbox. So, but you do need that light. And another indie that came out recently that I believe you're going to be bringing up is the one developed by Donkey, which is Animal Well.
Animal Well is a game I just touched because it's free on PlayStation Plus right now.
Solid deal.
But it's a game I need to dive into a little bit more. It looks like something that's going to open up a lot more as I go. I don't really even have much to say about it right now because I haven't played it much.
I also don't think you're supposed to either, though. But, I think the less you say about, the better, from what I'm hearing in terms of.
Yeah, but I genuinely don't have a lot to say about it.
Right.
So I'm not just holding back for the sake of people that don't want anything spoiled. But
for sure, but very kind of you otherwise.
Oh, thanks. I like to think of the others. The Others? I like to think of that movie, The Others, whenever.
Don't we all? I'd say
hold it dear to my
at
heart.
Least twice a day I think of the movie The Others.
Yeah, once when I'm jacking off, and the other time while I'm crying in the shower after jacking off.
There you go.
Yep, The Others. Check it out. Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, it's a classic.
All right,
man.
Fantastic.
Not too scary, maybe a little unsettling, but
I don't even know if I've seen this movie. I'm not gonna lie to you, man.
Oh, I don't know if I have either, though.
So check out The Others.
Let us know what you think.
You can get out of this.
Let us know if it's a good one.
But yeah, I don't know what else. I don't have anything else to talk about as far as what I'm playing right now. There's very little coming out in the near future, to be honest with you.
Again, great time to catch up on your backlog, people.
Catch up on that backlog,
this is solid,
baby.
Take advantage of this time. This is not a bad thing. This industry needs a cool off. Oversaturation is a problem.
See, I disagreed to some extent. I don't know, man. I agree with you. Oversaturation. We've talked about that all the time. But, fuck, man. It feels like there's a lull happening in the gaming industry. And
it's because closures are happening while nothing's being released.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
No.
But
it's also just a timing. Maybe it's an intentional timing, but it's just a timing thing. I mean, there are exciting games still coming out. They just don't happen to be coming out in the near future right now.
That being said, we can segue into our segment of what's coming out.
What's coming out?
What's coming out? Theme song for everything. What's coming out, Alex? God, I hated that so much.
I hated it too. I'm not going to edit it out.
No, you shouldn't.
I'm going to leave
No editing. There should never be any edits. I want every little fucking nook and cranny. I want, when I talk about controversial things, I want all of that to be in here.
You want to English muffin it?
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Hell yeah. Bay's English Muffins. This episode is brought to you by Bay's English Muffins.
No, don't give them the free publicity.
Fucking every nook and cranny covered in melted butter. Fantastic stuff. You want that.
Absolutely.
Bay's English Muffins at your local grocer. Check it out. So coming up on my radar, so you saw the trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadows.
I did indeed.
What are your thoughts?
A negative interest.
Really?
Like, not only zero interest, I have a disinterest in playing it.
Okay.
And I mean, I am making that judgment based upon no gameplay as well, but typically Assassin's Creeds aren't really high on my level of interest just due to the Ubisoft bloat that we talk about. It all kind of feels the same, just with a different skin on it.
Yeah.
So I think it's very unexciting when Ghost of Tsushima exists and Sekiro and things that probably are going to do it better than Assassin's Creed is.
Yeah, I mean, even Rise of the Ronin that came out recently looks more interesting. At least
and with co-op.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm not holding out hope. I'm like you in that I don't like I'm not thrilled for the newest Assassin's Creed release all the time. Odyssey, I enjoyed quite a bit. I thought the setting was interesting. You know, whatever. We can talk about the Assassin's Creed games, 12 games, stupid fuck. But
Good point.
Thank you. I thought I very eloquently said that. But yeah, no, I don't have a super big interest in it. I think the two protagonist thing is cool.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. The setting's interesting. Japan, it's always cool to see a new setting and environment. I'm sure they'll nail it as far as that goes.
I'm sure you've heard the controversy around it, that it's Chinese architecture and not Japanese. So a lot of Japanese gamers have gone online and told them they've got it incorrect already.
What?
You haven't. Wait, what are you doing?
I'm fucking out of here.
Jesus Christ.
I don't even want to fucking talk anymore. Shit's ridiculous.
It's a commitment.
Japanese instead of Chinese?
Yep. In a Chinese setting. I mean, Japanese setting. Sorry.
Other way around. Fuck. All right. Well.
I know. Listen, pull it together. Pull it together for me.
Folks, I'm sorry. I
know. That's how I felt when I first heard it too. So that is a very authentic reaction right there. He's very passionate about his distinction between Chinese and Japanese architecture.
That much I'm passionate about. I don't give a fuck about Assassin's Creed though.
No,
so
right? Oh, no one thought so. No one thought so.
Was that good acting or bad acting? What do we call that?
Don't call it out yet. Okay. Let them determine it.
Oh, that was not a genuine reaction. I don't really care that much about Assassin's Creed, but. Looking forward, hey, we'll keep an eye on it. Might be interesting. Maybe they'll do something different, throw a curveball as far as gameplay goes, but it looks like more of the same.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we have to see gameplay.
Setting.
We have to see gameplay.
Did you see what comes out this week?
The juicy
ass on Paper Mario 1,000-Year Door.
Nice fucking segue, dude.
Thank you. Did you see that?
Did you see? Yeah, I saw
that. Did you see that juicy ass?
Hell yeah.
No, but that comes out this week, man. I'm pretty sure. We don't know when, whenever this is released, but that comes out. As of date. We're looking forward to Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door release.
Yes, Alex is looking forward to it.
The review. There's a review IGN did. IGN, I'm going to look at my notes here.
That you toss so...
Yeah, so eloquently. I've used that word way too much already. No, IGN went ahead and gave that shit a fucking 9, dude.
This is a new one, right?
Or this is a re-release of the GameCube
Isn't it kind of funny
classic.
to
it's supposed to be really quite good.
A re-release like that?
I mean...
Is there a graphical upgrade? Short of being an HD?
Paper Mario, so I mean, that's a good point.
I wonder what their original score was. Because if they just reiterated the score.
Sorry.
That's his thoughts on the game. That's
how I feel about that. Trying to look like French Stewart.
He's got squint. He was a smaller mouth. There you go. That's pretty French Stewart. You can't do an impression though, because what's his voice?
French Stewart.
He says his name like a Pokemon.
Fuck. No. Anyway, anywho.
Yeah.
Looks good.
What?
I don't know what we're talking about.
Exactly.
I forgot what we were talking about.
You did, though, man.
Looks good. No, Paper Mario 1,000-Year Door. Yes. I'm going to pick it up. I never played the version on GameCube back in the day.
Well, how exciting. So this is a new game for you.
It's a new game for me. That's why I'm thrilled about it.
It's a new game.
It's a brand new game. Don't you dare close your eyes.
I like this.
A little rapey from Aladdin, don't you think, when he tells her not to close her eyes?
I think there's many things in Aladdin.
Don't close your eyes. I want you to see all of this.
You ever heard the old Aladdin thing where he says, good teenagers take off their clothes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe any of the...
Bro, my fucking subtitles picked it up as a kid. Like,
really?
My captions on my VCR said it. So, hey... If you're out there, hey, if you worked on Aladdin back in like the fucking, when did that come out? Like the 80s or some shit, or the 90s?
Something like that.
If you were an animator or a sound director on that and you're listening, chime in the comments and let us know if it actually was.
Always chiming in.
Yep.
I always want you chiming in.
I'm hoping some people start chiming in at some point.
It's a classic verb. Chime in, please. Other than that, Final Shape, June 4. Yep. We already know the big spoiler in that one. Final Shape
you spoiled it for everybody.
So we're done.
You know.
Deep Horizon, which sounds like a different game. I made that up. Deep Down the Horizon is what I'm trying to say. There's in August, the next like big kind of game I'm looking forward to is Black Myth Wukong. That'll finally come out August 8th.
Yep.
But that's about all I got, man, on the radar. Other than that, there's going to be little indie titles that pop up. Your Mad Jack, Mullet, face McGee's.
That's right.
Your Hades
Pizza
2s, which I guess
Crazy
is
Mike's
pretty big.
Fuckfest.
Crazy Mike's Fuckfest.
That's right.
Check it out. Local grocer pizza. We love it.
We love it.
Get Bay's English muffin and then chase it with a Crazy Mike's Fuckfest personal party pizza.
Personal party.
Shove that
Bro,
shit.
those things were like 2 feet. Those things were huge.
Go ahead, man. So that's all I have to say in the news of gaming today.
Again, with it being a little slower, episodes are also a little shorter. We're also going to try this a little bit, kind of shorten it down, trim the fat.
Man.
See how it works.
We're going to try playing more games too, like we did with Hellblade 2.
Yeah.
You'll
so please
see that coming up.
Chime in. We'll have that video posted as well, so feel free to watch that and like it as well. Give us your thoughts if it's something we should continue. We have some other games kind of on the back burner that we could try out as well. So, Alex, that's pretty much it. Why don't you send these folks off with something near and dear to their hearts?
Oh, we got to keep this segment in?
Absolutely.
We're trimming the fat, dude.
This
I don't have anything good to say.
This is muscle, baby.
I have nothing good to say. Follow your dreams, folks. Follow that light at the end of the tunnel. What? What? If you see it, I don't know. I think I just convinced some people to die.
Commit suicide, yes.
But anyway,
folks, you heard it here first.
Don't do that. Don't kill yourself. That's my advice of the
Thank
week.
you for listening.
You have a reason for being here. Thank you.
You for listening. It's always a pleasure. Episode 13 in the books, and we'll catch you next time.